magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast. What's up, everybody? How we all doing this Saturday night? Oh, what a Saturday night it's going to be. This is the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday night live stream main event. I am your host, Proto Man. I am the face that runs this place. I'm shaved today. I'm the face that runs this place. I'm the voice you hear Monday to Friday, and it is Saturday. And what a Saturday it is going to be. What a loaded Saturday it is going to be. We have a lot to talk about. The emotions this week, the absolute emotions, the swings of craziness, the fandom eating each other and hate and love. And it's amazing. It's amazing, but I expect no less. I'm rocking out the same shirt that Evan was wearing on that certain day, but we'll get into that in a moment. How we all doing? Let's see who's in the chat today. YouTube members. We got Mikey and Lou. We got Link CW. We got Michael Koo. We got JR Mina from the Philippines. Ashnud, Patrick Brown, Roman Schillen. Man, a lot of people are here today. Roman Schillen. Oscar is here. We got Horned Owl. We got James Hopkins. We got Mr. Bumblebot. Will Murphy. Abraham. Who else am I? I don't want to miss anybody here. Everyone's piling in. Sharif is here. Mike Rosen. I think I already mentioned. Prince and Phalanx 59. Billy B. I'm going to get you Aaron Archer's P.O. box for those instructions in a moment. I'll send that to you later this week. Ashnud, Orlando Chavez is here. A lot of people piling in. Everyone's piling in. It is going to be a loaded one today, people. Going to be quite the loaded one. And so let's jump into it. We're going to cover the news. We got some stuff that we got in the Transformers Slag Podcast P.O. Box. One little small item from a fan sent me something nice. So I'm going to give him a nice shout out for some cool stuff. We got some cool stuff to talk about too. Some items here and there. And of course, let's talk about the news and then some. We even got a cool little question from a fan because we always like to do profound conversation here on our Saturday nights. Can't always be robots. Could be for the rest of our lives, but it can't always be robots. But sometimes it can. So let's jump into it, shall we? And the first thing we are going to cover, and once again, if you want to be part of this, be sure to hit that super chat and help support the podcast and give your 2 cents. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have 2 cents of what's going on today. But first, let's start with that repaint, that Autobot multi-pack, that supposed Gen Selects Autobot multi 5-pack. Some saying it's a Target exclusive. You know, if it says Gen Selects, I guess it's going to be probably a Haslab / GameStop / Toys R Us Canada kind of item. We'll see. But we got our first look at the Wheeljack this time. And I mean, damn. Let's just say that this is about as good as it's going to get for that mold. And probably the best version. Makes me want to, just kind of like I look at the Wheeljack I have now from Earthrise and going like, I'm getting those same feelings I got when I got the Masterpiece Wheeljack back in the day. And then they did the Masterpiece Plus. And I'm like, oh, I got to get that one now. So pretty crazy. Looks good, though. I want to see that alt mode. We'll probably see photos of it in the very near future. All that's left now really is we got to see how that Jazz looks and how the Sunstreaker is in that pack, because we got to see the Trailbreaker that's also pretty stellar. And the Hound, we're pretty sure what it's going to be. It's going to be that Earthrise Hound. We don't know what the colors will be, but whatever it'll be the first time we get the Hound from that instead of just the Detritus. But pretty hype. Love that Wheeljack, looking really good. The paint makes it pop, man. Especially look at the blue on his eyes. Like, just, man, this is what I talked about with Aaron Archer before, where it's like Hasbro is just known for, you put out a mold. It's not the best it could be because you want to just make that sale, and then you put it out better, and then you make 2 sales. And that's just how it is. Anyone that like freaked out on Cosmos, I'm telling you, there's going to be the same story with that. I get a feeling we're going to get a Cosmos. It's going to be painted slightly better. And then everyone that went crazy and scalped and paid and this is the name of the game. When you've been in this for so long and saw, I call it the new hat syndrome from The Simpsons. Whenever that new hat syndrome kicks in, and people just kill themselves over it, and then something else comes along, and that old new hat syndrome. It's almost I wish we could like record those moments when people were killing themselves for certain iron hides or movie. The best is like movie 2007 Bumblebee, like the deluxe Camaro, the new Camaro, and how people were scalping it and killing each other. And oh, Battle Blades, oh, Human Alliance, oh, Masterpiece, Studio Series. There's always a better figure. So try to keep it on the down low of how much you pay, and you do yourself a favor in the long term. Trust me on that one. Let's cover some other stuff, some Super 7 stuff. I'm actually going to be talking about Super 7 today. It was something that showed up in my hands. So we got the Super 7 VHS puzzle series. They've been doing these for a while now, and normally I've been kind of ignoring these, but this one is based off of some beautiful poster art that I've had in the TF room for years, and it's that of the Japanese Transformers the '86 movie poster art. It's a 1,000-piece puzzle piece. It's absolutely huge, and it comes in a cool VHS style box. Looks really nice, and it's only $20, which Super 7. I've been so used to them spending an insane amount of money on how much their product is sometimes that it just gets to a point where it's nice to see something that's only like a $20 bill and you get some nice stuff. So pretty cool, pretty big. I dig it. I like it a lot. Let's get into some other stuff. These showed up on Baidu the past couple of days, and then we got some better images through different sources. And we got our first look at some Transformers Legacy United Deluxes for the Wave 2 that's going to be showing up in April. Probably the pre-orders will show up before that. What's up, David? Um, but it is what it is, essentially. And the first one we're going to cover here, and this is the more controversial one of the two, and I'm still kind of confused by it a little bit, is the Legacy United Deluxe class, as the listing said. Maybe we'll see some different, but the listing calls it Cyberverse Chromia. I don't know, guys. I mean, I had a lot of high hopes. Maybe I built it up in my mind too much. I had the high hopes. Let me hold on a second. Let me get the figure. Yeah. The best we got. I'm gonna be rumbling here for a moment because I got to get the old. I might as well show this on camera. This is the every single tiny turbo changer in a box. So where are you at, Chromia? Is this it or is that Whirl? No, that's Whirl. Is this Chromia? No, that's Soundwave. Where are you, Chromia? I'm picking up every blue one and none of them is Chromia. Where's Chromia? Where is Chromia? Chromia, where are you? Ah, there she is. I have her in vehicle mode there. This is the best Cyberverse Chromia figure we have. It's transforming in real time. A complicated Cyberverse figure to transform in real time. Like this is about as good as it gets, unfortunately. And I mean, this is what Cyberverse Chromia was. She pretty much was kind of based off of that generation style, kind of thing. And kind of disappointed. Kind of disappointed by what we got here. Some people were saying they should have taken the Bumblebee movie RC and retooled that. I agree with that one. Some people were even showing some really good repaint retools of yet again that Legacy RC. That could have been done even. And I don't know. I guess the blue is off. I mean, the choice. You know what I would have done honestly with this? You could have done like Elite Guard Prowl, which is like the white repaint. I'm pretty sure people would have dug that. So like it's a weird choice. I know they like to always have a female character in a wave, just to kind of mix it up a bit. But I'm kind of disappointed. I was kind of looking forward to something a little more, but it is what it is. Again, I love that Cyberverse Chromia design, and I love Chromia the character in general. I just kind of always loved how she looked as a design. And I was kind of hoping for more. Kind of hoping for more. We got a super chat from Snell's World. How you doing, Snells? Snell's World says, do you think we will ever get a Titan Returns size Gigastorm or Metro Titan or one from Shattered Glass? Well, I think I did a segment. A while back how we almost got the Metro Titan trademark, which was before, if anyone remembers Bot Shots, those little, flip change Transformers. I have like practically a whole collection of them. Bot Shots at one point had a listing for a Metro Titan, which was probably just going to be a repaint retool of one of the tank ones or something. And it was going to happen, and they were going to do a trademark. And then who knows, it would have opened up to a Metroplex repaint from that old generation's Thrilling 30 Titan class. Never happened. And that was the domino effect. That Gigastorm, I feel like one day they're going to take that Triptychon. I'm surprised. Some of those Titans, I look at them and I go, wow, they're really taking their time for repaints or retool. Gigastorm, right away there, you could do that with the Triptychon. You know, we look how long we had to wait until we got the Guardian robot Omega Sentinel from the Omega Supreme. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done. Let's put it that way. I mean, who knows? Maybe with our Haslab, we'll probably get a Brave Maximus, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. Or maybe one from Shattered Glass. Shattered Glass Titan classes. I don't know. That's a squeeze. That one. That's a squeeze. That's a little bit of a tough one. It is what it is. Thank you for joining the Minicon recruits, Guillaume with Hulkamania. Love it. Looking good. Looking good, Guillaume. Love it. Love it. Thank you for joining. Let's make sure for Chromia doesn't look like Cyberverse at all. Yeah, like I mean, if you look at the Cyberverse design, I probably should have had the slide with that. But I mean, if you look at the Cyberverse design, the Cyberverse one looks more like the Legacy RC. It looks more like some of the customs that people were putting up. You know, I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. I was really looking because the Windblade was really good. And I was like, oh man, we finally got a good Cyberverse Windblade. Now we could get a Cyberverse Chromia. Because Cyberverse, let me tell you something. If you slept on that series, go back and watch it. What a really good Transformers series. Its only weakness is that they're 10-minute episodes practically. But otherwise, it's such a great series. No humans, which is always a plus. And good character development. And just, RC's great in it. Hot Rod's great in it. Great stuff. Love it. But there was some good with the bad. So that while that Chromia is kind of we got our next Armorizer Infernac universe character. This is also part of the Transformers United Legacy United, excuse me, Deluxe Class Wave 2 that's going to ship in April, at least according to the listings that we got. This one here is the Infernac Universe Deluxe Class Shard. If you check my individual segment on this, I have some speculation on why the name exists. If you're probably a Marvel Legends collector and you're familiar with Bishop, the time traveler's storyline, the character of Shard is someone that you're familiar with. And Hasbro has never owned the Shard trademark in any toy line or shape or form. Shard at most, which was a Marvel character, I had some Toy Biz stuff and that was it. So I think it might be a backdoor thing where here's Shard, the Transformer character, and then because they have that trademark now in their bubble, and because Disney doesn't have Shard trademarked, amazingly, I looked into it. They could then do a Shard later on through Marvel Legends and not have to worry about Disney or anything like that. So it is what it is. I'm very very inside baseball stuff. What's up, Paul? Goober and Larry's here too. Everyone's popping in now. Good stuff. So Shard looks cool though. Evan said that every single one of these armorizers is based off of a kind of rock. So, like again, our Boulder Crash is the magma kind of rock, and our what's his name there? Oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? You got Boulder Crash, and then you got Magnus. There we go, Magnus. Why did I blank his name there? Magnus is supposed to be granite. And now this one here, this green here, until Mark says otherwise, because Mark is the one who designed a lot of these. This is either going to be jade or emerald, and I think it looks pretty sweet, to be honest. I think it looks pretty cool. Again, looking at that alt mode, I can't help but feel there's going to be some other stuff planned with this tooling at some point. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something there. But it's cool. It's cool. Hopefully, we'll learn more about him or her. Who knows? We'll see what this character is. There obviously isn't going to be any fiction with it, but they are pretty cool designs, and the tooling will obviously lead to other stuff in the near future. We will see. We will see. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Let me know what you think about him or her or it or whatever the hell it is. It's not the rock lords I was expecting, but I do appreciate the hustle. And my birthstone is emerald, so I'm kind of curious what this emerald transformer is going to be. I like the design though. Like the design. Like the design a lot. I'm feeling live convoy, very live convoy slash evac kind of feel to it. But we will see. We will see. And then, of course, here's everything else for that assortment. So the Legacy United Deluxe class Wave 2 to ship in April of 2024. We got to see the gears. We got to see both these two now in both alt mode and robot mode in the Chromia and the Shard. We have the listings there of their EAN codes and everything. The only one we have not seen yet is that fourth one in the wave assortment, and it's that of as the listing says. The listing says here it's a G1 Sure Shot. That's what the listing says. Now, JT Prime and a lot of other people have come forward and said it's not going to be Sure Shot. Don't pay attention to the listings actual naming. And I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's what you say, but I mean, Mark and Evan really like to complete their micro collection. Sure Shot's, one of the missing target masters on the Autobot side of the core team. So I mean, it would make sense if they did a Sure Shot. And I mean, when you have like certain tooling, like let's say a dune buggy like Beachcomber, you could kind of like retool it into Sure Shot. I don't know. I feel like it could be done, but at the same time, I guess something else is in the plans. We'll see. We will see. We're going to find that out soon because if these guys are supposed to ship in April, that means probably our live stream that we're going to get either in late February or early March is going to be the pre-orders for these guys. So we'll probably get some kind of information. BMAC will drop it in our lap and tease it to us, and we'll see what's popping with it. But this is what we got coming in April. So stay tuned for that, my peeps. Looking good, looking good. Then we got some Japanese Earthspark stuff. I did a deeper segment on it, so if you want to see the side-by-side comparisons and everything, go check out the individual segments I did. I really go deep into the weeds, and I show like how different these are from their American counterparts. And let me tell you something, if you're a fan of Transformers Earthspark, do not buy the Western product. I know that sounds bad, but man, like the amount of paint that the Japanese have been putting into these releases is crazy fantastic. I mean, that Thrash, man, I am so glad I have not found the deluxe one or the Warrior class locally here in Montreal. I'm going to wait for this Japanese one. This Japanese one is amazing. It's amazing how good this thing looks. So absolutely incredible. Update to the Optimus Prime. I said in my individual segment that this is supposed to be the Warrior class. I was basing it off of what the news was on this, which claimed that this was the Warrior class. Apparently, it's the Deluxe class. So on top of that, you get a better Deluxe class than the one that we got in the West here. So pretty cool stuff. Otherwise, sadly, probably the best Earthspark Skull Cruncher we'll get. Unfortunately, if Cyberverse was any indication of how much characters got half decent toys, I'm not going to hold my breath on our picture perfect Skull Cruncher. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But and the Alita, I mean, yeah, it's the flip one step changer, or as they call it, the spottle changer in Japan. Hopefully they'll take that warrior class that we got and really put a ton of paint on it. We'll get like the perfect warrior class figure. But Japan's weird with female characters sometimes for kid price points. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. Maybe they didn't want to do the warrior class, so they're more willing to put a lower price point with the one step. Hopefully they'll paint up Alita and we'll get a really nice one in that warrior from Japan. But again, like I said, if you like Earthspark, this is where you got to go. I think that number one, already Earthspark isn't doing well in the ratings. The toy sales are absolutely terrible. And now to kind of put like the strike three in a lot of ways, if you are interested and you love this show or you love the toy line, now you should probably just avoid buying the retail ones and just wait for the Japanese ones. So that's even more kind of a difficult one in a lot of ways. So it is what it is, but pretty crazy. Check it out, yo. Go check out my individual segment if you want to see the side by sides and just how different the paint is from left to right, and just so you can know what you're getting. But really good stuff otherwise. So it is what it is, like I always say. Then we got this came from Takara. So Takara recently announced their Transformers Our Origin 40th anniversary event. This is something that's going to be going on between February 10th and I believe it's going to end in late April. But what they announced is that they're going to be posting on the Takara Tomy YouTube channel that they're going to be posting Generation 1 episodes in the Japanese dub as well as Beast Wars 2nd episodes in the Japanese dub. They will not be subtitled. They're just specifically for the Japanese market. But in April, the episodes are going to be start being posted in February, and every week you'll be getting a new one or two new ones. But in April, they're going to be announcing brand new Transformers Missing Link product, brand new Transformers collaboration product, brand new Transformers Masterpiece product, and this is the big one, a brand new Transformers MPG set reveal. And that one's interesting because we just came off of Raiden, and now we have another one that's going to be announced. So I'm very curious who they're going to go with. Obviously, everyone has their rumors and speculation of who it could be for the 40th. And there's some really good answers there that I kind of agree with. I mean, let's be real. If you're doing a 40th anniversary, you got to go with Devastator. That's my own personal opinion. And even if you have like a slow churn out of each individual part, like, let's say they announce that it's Devastator and the pre orders go up for the first piece of it, right? 6 pieces, it's 6 pieces, exactly like Raiden was. Raiden was 6 pieces. So it would be cool if it was Devastator, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I had my opinions of what the Haslab item should be logically, which I'll get into in a moment, but that didn't really churn out the same way either. And yeah, but let's talk about that Haslab, shall we? Because we got a bada boom talk about this one here. But first, we'll go into like the inside baseball of it in a lot of ways, which is so our Haslab item is, of course, as they call it, Omega Prime, Goto Fire Convoy, Godfire Convoy, Optimus Prime, aka Fire Convoy, aka Super Fire Convoy, and Ultra Magnus, aka God Magnus, with his blue bolt. Um, yeah, you know, again, not the choice that I would have went with in terms of a business choice, because to me, I like this item. Don't get me wrong. I think that it's really cool. I mean, it doesn't like I took this one out because I want to talk about repaints in a moment. It doesn't reinvent the wheel too much. I mean, there is no articulated fingers with the smaller robot. It's more or less the same shape, just slightly larger. Obviously you have the chest that's a little bit different and everything. Even though the way it, like when Evan was messing with it and showing how they make the Godfire Convoy, aka the Omega Prime, the pegs are in the same places. Nothing really was different this time around. It feels like uh Hasashi Yuki, who worked on the original back in the day, he worked on the original Fire Convoy and God Magnus, and now he's the one designing this one. I feel like Hasashi Yuki kind of is just refreshing the same design. Doesn't reinvent the wheel too much. There isn't any I mean, when Evan was transforming it, it looks like it transforms exactly the same even. So someone like me who owns this mold multiple times over, or even other people who already own the original, might not be for them. And that's totally cool. That's totally cool. It's not for them. If you're someone that's never owned the original, then this is a great time for you, because probably to own, I mean, let's be real, to own a 100% complete, tires still intact and everything, Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus, let alone the Japanese versions, Fire Convoy and God Magnus, it's probably going to run you $200, plus shipping because they're two big guys, maybe 210, 250. So you're almost kind of closing the gap right there, and it's almost the same price as the Haslab. At the same time, if you already own it and you're not feeling it, again, I could see both arguments of the camp. I will say that it's the first time I ever cared about extras because, the Godfire sword, I don't even have that. I have the Fortress Maximus, Master Sword. I have all those ones. I never got the Godfire sword, so that would be a good opportunity to get that one. The display stands usually is something I ignore, but hey, this one's Cybertron net, so might make some good photography at least. I firmly believe that this guy here literally, if you factor in that we might get some other extra tiers, which we'll get a tier 3. They'll announce it like 2 weeks before this is over. in March 14th of 2024, we're going to get like something. We'll get something, and that something will make it break even because they're two commander classes. Two commander classes puts it up to about, after taxes, about $205. So, okay, it's $205 if you bought two commander classes in retail. So what's the extra $45? That's the padding of the plastic. The big sword, that's a lot of plastic. Those two stands that make the Cybertron net, that's a lot of plastic. And then whatever that tier 3 is going to be will be some plastic, which tells me that when they plan a HasLab, they don't plan it for just tier 1, they plan it for all the tiers. And then that way they don't lose money, you know? And if they only get the first tier, then hey, they actually kind of made money because now they don't have to produce the other things. But it is what it is. As for tier 3, I mean, either it's some spy changers, or maybe we'll finally get an update to Miss over here, good old Aichan, aka Tai in the West. This is the Wonderfest exclusive. They only made 100 of these, which was the official Tai slash Aichan figure. You had to get it there. She was like translucent back in the. This thing goes for stupid money now, which it really shouldn't. But this was like the only way you were able to get it back in the day. I don't remember where I got this. I think I got this from a dealer at BotCon back in the day, like 2012 or something. But it's if we could get a new Ichon figure, that'd be great. If we get a couple spy changers, like we got little Micromasters with the other guys, so an Ichon or some Micromasters would be cool. I don't know which ones I'd want though. Maybe would I maybe Wars and an Eagle Killer, which I believe was called Rev. No, Eagle Killer was the Mirage. I'm going with the Japanese names and the American names. I always get them mixed up. But I mean, I still think it looks cool. I still think it looks cool. I mean, it has an aesthetic to it that I could still appreciate. I love car robots. Car robots was super hype. I mean, ask anyone who was at TFCon. There was one year at TFCon I sung the car robots theme song front to back in front of 300 people at TFCon on stage. That's how much I love that design, that show. It's my favorite Transformer theme song of all time. It looks really cool. It looks really cool. It's just that I feel from a business standpoint, this is a weird item to put for 40th. Like if they did this the year after, I think I'd be having a different conversation. But I mean, what a weird 40th item to do. Not to mention by it being a HasLab, now you can't do brilliant yellow. You can't do this repaint. I mean, I'll just whip out the old, guidebook here. So this is the Beast era with car robots. I mean, so you have Fire Convoy, and then you have, let's go to the next one here. One day we're going to do a book day, guys. I keep promising it, but then we keep getting big news. So, and then we have Clear Fire Convoy. That's where the original Godfire sword came from. You had to get the clear set, which was a nightmare in price. And then afterwards, you had Blackofire Convoy. So we're never going to get a Blackfire Convoy with that glorious gold chest and everything. So it's like, oh man, we're not getting Blackfire Convoy. We're not getting Brilliant Yellow. We're not getting a clear one. And you know that like an Optimus Prime would have sold well in retail. So very interesting choice. I would have went something again. I feel personally HasLab should be a place where items that are more questionable for retail, but oh my God, we're hardcore Transformer fans, we'll dig it. That's where it kind of belongs. In the same way, like with the G.I. Joe stuff, the Hiss Tank. The Hiss Tank that can never exist in retail. It's too big, it's too cumbersome. But you put that for the Joe fans outside of retail, they'll love it. Sarah joins the mini cons. Thank you, Sarah, for joining the mini cons. And we got a super chat from Patrick Brown for $2. So Proto, how many did you pre-order? I got 3. I don't want to. I don't have to pre-order them. Hasbro sends me a sample every time. All the HasLabs except Unicron, I have gotten sent as samples. And look, I'll be honest with you guys. Look, I get it for free, and I still have my misgivings. In terms of like honesty. I'll tell it to you like it is. I'm not going to be one of those guys who I bought it, so I have to be on team. It's the best thing ever, and no anyone who says otherwise, screw them. And for the people who didn't buy it, I'm not going to be that guy that says it's the worst thing ever. I think it's great. I think the design is cool. The business side of it doesn't make sense to me. I think it's a great design. I think it should have been done for the 41st anniversary because when you think about it, Car Robots came out in 2000, 2001. So you could kind of like figure out an anniversary in there and do a round number, So there's different ways I would have done it. If I was in that boardroom, there would have been a different way. Would have been a different way. So that's kind of how I see it. Sarah says smells like Hasbro needs some money for their prime. Well, the thing is that yeah, the business side of it, Hasbro does need they do need to kind of raise their capital for their investors and stuff, but they probably should have then announced that Haslab, in November or December, not now, because they had a really rough kind of Q4 and that led to all the layoffs and everything. So I think that if they would have wanted to do it from that standpoint, I think, they should have done it earlier. But it is what it is. Again, I still think it's cool. But it's as Evan was as Evan was transformed, not Evan, yeah, it was Evan. As Evan was transforming it, I was just getting flashbacks of messing with these guys. Where I was just like, it's pretty much the same toy, slightly larger, just slightly larger. Where like I've messed with different versions of Optimuses and Starscreams throughout the years based off, and there's always a new twist or turn. This feels right, like, hey, you couldn't get the old one? Here, you could get the new one. I guess that's the way I look at it. I mean, they did the reissue not too long ago that had all those QC problems and everything, and that thing was like $240. So it's a great opportunity for people who didn't own the character before. That's where it's good. If you're someone like Proto Man, I want to own Fire Convoy and God Magnus. I never got a chance to get it before. I don't want to buy it in the secondary market because the tires crack, and it's true, the tires do crack. Look, these ones are gone now. These are gone. There's no more tires on this one. The tires crack and everything. It's just the name of the game. I mean, even Evan, when he showed his personal version, the tires were not on them anymore. Um, it's just something where, yeah, okay, then the money you would have spent on a brand new minty one, mint in box from a TFCon or BotCon back in the day, you could put towards this and you would have been paying the same. And you get the bonuses, you get the sword, you get the thing, and then of course we'll get some kind of bonus tier 3. So I'm more in the sense that I think this is a great item. I think it's cool. Bad timing in terms of the business side of it. So you're going to go to San Diego Comic-Con and you're going to show off this item? Okay, sure. This will be your centerpiece at SDCC. I'm definitely going to probably be at SDCC, so we're going to go there and talk tax with the crew and everything when the time comes. Brainstorm 2002 with the $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. Did you see the video of the RID Prime voice actor narrating the reveal? You're talking about Neil Kaplan. Neil does a good job of an Optimus Prime, but me personally, if you want to watch the show that these characters came from, go watch the Japanese version, Car Robots. I think Car Robots is a better version of it. Robots in Disguise, unfortunately, was really chopped up and edited like crazy, and also because the episodes kind of came out during 9/11, certain episodes got completely scrapped. So, like, the very first episode, Gigatron, aka Megatron, flies through a building and comes out the other side in hand mode and then transforms to jet mode and then robot mode. Yeah, a little on the nose. And then there's another episode where Skybite, aka Gel Shark, is holding up a tower from falling over with the other Predacons. Little on the nose. All those episodes got canceled and weren't put online. Japanese version, you could find it online. It's subtitled. It's out there. It's great. Go watch the Japanese version. You'll get it more uncensored. You have a better appreciation for those characters. Great voice acting too. No shade throwing at Neil. Neil does a great job. He does great stuff with Pokemon and all the stuff he's done with Saban Entertainment in the past. But I'd go more with the Japanese version. And the Japanese version, the visual quality of it out there is HD quality. The episodes that you're going to find that exist of Robots in Disguise, unfortunately, are still VHS rips because they never made an official DVD outside of, I think, the UK or Australia got one. But that's a whole other story with Saban not letting the rights be out there. But that's because you can't use my dub. You can only use the Japanese dub. That's why in the West, we don't have a DVD box set of Robots in Disguise. We have everything but that one. But yeah, thank you. Collector Prime with the $5 super chat. Does the Haslab release make sense since it doesn't have any Transclearant. That's an interesting term. Translucent. I always go with. Doesn't have any transclearant plastic. I don't think that has anything to do one way or another. Choices of using clear plastics is just choices. It doesn't really have to be Haslab or otherwise. Um, I mean, I don't know. I'm still hung up on the choice of the characters for a 40th anniversary. That's always been my thing, you know? That's always been my thing is timing is everything. Timing is everything because there's such a business side to it and hype and how you could get people excited about engaging in products and also getting people who are lapsed fans. It's like, hey, I was into Transformers, but now we're doing an anniversary. Look, when Kingdom came out, they were celebrating the 35th anniversary of Beast Wars. You got all these old Beast Wars fans, people that weren't Transformer fans, but were 90s kids and they loved Beast Wars. And then, Pokemon came out and we lost them forever. So the only time they were a Transformer fan was during that Beast Wars era between 96 and 99. And like we lost those fans forever to Pokemon and Beyblade and everything. But then they came back for Beast Wars. You have to do good marketing with that. And that's how you get those fans because this hobby is like cigarette smoking. You got to give them that first cigarette and make them hooked. And then you got them forever. Gotcha. You know? So that's the way I see it. The Twins Corner. How you doing, guys? Haven't seen you guys in a Delta and Cobra. How you doing? We got some stuff we'll be talking about in a moment too. Twins Cobra with the $7 super chat. So excited for Omega Prime. Tell us, Proto, what do you think? Oh no, your thing disappeared. One sec. Tell us, what do you think are the chances that the next HasLab will be RID 2001 Megatron? Honestly, I think that if Hasbro is wise, they could do the Megatron as a large leader class or a commander for retail. Because think about it this way, if the HasLab is Megatron, we get no Gigatron. That would be silly. What an easy you're going to put all that time and energy into the 6 changer and then the 12 changer for the Galvatron, Gigatron, Devil Gigatron, Galvatron, whatever you want to call it. It's called Gigatron and then Devil Gigatron, Megatron, Galvatron. You make it a retail item. That way you could put the repaint out there. To put it as a HasLab, you're screwing yourself out of a repaint. You really are. Again, this one, people love black repaints of Optimuses. You're going to tell me, be honest, people, if they did a black repaint standalone of that Optimus, you wouldn't buy it with the gold on the chest and everything? Black fire convoy, and they'd retool it a little bit and do little extras, maybe change the missiles or the insignia or the matrix would be different. You would buy it. It looks so cool. But now that can't happen. It's just my take. Again, it's the business side. I still think it's a great product, but I just think that the way it was handled is a little mismanaged. Little mismanaged. That's all I'm saying. Let me just get to some of these other super chats. Thank you, Delta and Cobra. ATM NS70 2001. Guys who are doing the YouTube member questions, just ask again. I'll try to catch you guys because everything's disappearing. Everything's jumping all over the place. I think there was someone who asked about BotCon too. Oh, here we go. Prince of Phalanx 59, Proto, are you going to BotCon? You mean TFCon? There is no more BotCon. Oh, wait, it's true. There's the other BotCon. I'd love to go to that BotCon. Hey, invite me, fly me an air and out. We'll go. We'll go. We'll go. Too many conventions a year. I'm not made of money, unfortunately. I'd love to fly out under my own buck and go, but I mean, I'm not made out of money. So, but it's something where if they're willing to fly me and Aaron out as guests, we'll do panels for you. We'll bring prototypes. We'll make it a cool BotCon. Hey, contact me. I'm down to do stuff with you guys. ATM NS7 2001. Do you know how the Japan fan base feel about this and not HasLab related, but do you think Hasbro would remake an old Studio Series toys? So I'll start with the first one. I know that some Japanese people liked it on Japan Twitter. My buddy Azusa, Tomoya-san, Andrew, who's technically a Westerner who lives in Japan, but I'll count him too. They're excited about it. They think it's cool, but they kind of feel the same way I do. It's very similar to the other. And in Japan, not long ago, they got that reissue in retail there. So imagine getting like a retail reissue that's very close to this HasLab. And that was in their stores not too long ago. So for them, it's still kind of fresh. And I mean, they still think it's cool, but they're kind of feeling the same way I do in a lot of ways, you know? Let me just try to catch you. So Clark Clint says, "What character would I prefer?" I think Primus would have been a go-to. Doesn't have to be as big as Unicron, but just something in that Titan class size, would have been really cool. You know, I think Primus would have been the most like it's something where you don't screw yourself out of a retail item, but you're still able to do an item that's proper to celebrate the 40th anniversary. Primus wouldn't have made sense yet last year in 39th anniversary, and Primus doesn't make sense in the 41st anniversary. It's a perfect 40th anniversary item that's like a DLC to the people who bought the Unicron. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. Sarah, wait, hold on. Where are we at here? I don't want to miss any questions. So many popping up. Thank you for all the super chats, people. Thank you, thank you. Sarah again with the question. The problem is the horror doors. I guess you mean horror doors that open. Now we got. Oh, you're talking about Devil Gigatron. Now we got 10 modes: Gigatron, Haslab, and Cybertron Primus. What's the worst of the worst Optimus? What's the worst of the worst Optimal Optimus?
Megatron must be stopped.
What is the worst of the worst Optimal Optimus? I'm trying to understand your question here. The problem is the horror doors that this open. Oh, I see what you mean now. I see what you mean. That meaning like we might get like, more Optimus characters as Haslabs. No, I hope that's not the case. I think whoever decides to make Haslab characters Optimuses should be fired. And I only say that because you are screwing yourself out of retail. Do you know how many Walmarts would love to make that a Walmart exclusive item? Like there's too much partnerships that could be done with retailers, and there's too much money on the table because at the end of the day, I mean, look, yes, this thing right now is backed at like 6,300 or whatever, but let's say it gets to like 20,000, right? 20,000 is a nice big number, but I'll tell you this right now, there's more than 20,000 leader classes out there in the world or commander classes out there in the world when you sell on a global level for retail for both all the Asian regions, the European regions, the scant regions in Africa, South America, and of course, North America. Way more than 20,000 units would be moved. And then all that time and energy with the tooling, the repaints afterwards. Oh, you're too scared to put the repaint in retail? Hasbro selects Blackfire Convoy with a new mini-con or something just to grease the wheels. To me, there was a weird business decision there. But again, I appreciate the hustle and the tooling, but the business side of it, I would have done something different there. I really do. And I really, like you said, I really hope that it doesn't open the doors to, hey, let's just do Optimal Optimus here. Let's just do like Energon Optimus Prime, Galaxy Force Optimus Prime, Superlink Optimus, Superlink, Grand Convoy. Let's make those all the Haslab items. No more retail. Ooh, that's not the way to go, my friend. That is not the way to go. Paul with the $5 super chat. Aside from the character choice, Haslab ends in a few days after TFCon LA. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? Well, that's not planned, in succession. TFCon is a independent from Hasbro, and I think that Hasbro doesn't really factor that in the same way that, look, let's be real. They announced Haslab Unicron literally the Monday after TFCon LA. Excuse me, TFCon Toronto. Like TFCon Toronto happened, all those people traveled to TFCon Toronto. They spent money that weekend. They got hotels. They bought stuff in the deal room. They bought exclusives. And then the Monday after, as they're checking out, as they're paying their bills, as they're looking at their credit card, boom, here's Unicron for like $600. So it's not the first time they've done something like that. It's pretty rough. It hurts people's wallets, and that makes TFCon LA difficult for people because TFCon LA is going to have a lot of voice actors, and I mean, don't quote me on this, but if the average voice actor is asking $30 an autograph and another $20 for a photo, that's $50 for the experience, and there's going to be tons of G1 voice actors, I think a lot of people are going to be more liberal with their spending with their voice actors because they know that they might have to be paying for a item that literally they're gonna take your money on March 14th. So that if anything, it's going to hurt TFCon and their dealers. I don't think it's going to hurt Hasbro, because the people that are going to want to buy this are going to buy this, and then they're going to move their income elsewhere for what they spend that weekend at TFCon. The people who are going to be at TFCon and don't care about this, well, it doesn't affect them. So that's kind of how I see it. Let me see. I want to make sure I don't miss any other questions. Again, the green super chat ones, I'll get to you guys. The green super chat, the green YouTube member questions, just repeat them. I'll get to them in a moment. Still have more slides too, guys. We have. I knew this was gonna be a busy night. I knew it was gonna be busy night. I was almost saying to myself, should we do a 3-hour stream? I don't know. Brought a whole new bottle of water just for this one. Collector Prime with the $5 super chat. To your point on timing, since we didn't get Primus and the Haslab, do you think we lost our chance, or there still is a chance in the recent future? There is no lost chance. They could do a Primus whenever. I mean, they could do it whenever they want. It's just that I always feel that timing is important. I mean, they could do one next year, but it wouldn't make sense. Timing is important, and it would still do well. But if you're going to do a Haslab, I mean, think about it. Like Haslab for next year, you want to look for a nice round number, do some kind of celebration. I mean, look, the Victory Saber and the Deathsaurus, they were a pair kind of thing. You know, they were like, oh, Japanese items, maybe we can't do it for retail. I still think they could have done it for retail, but that's just me. You know, to me, Haslab, if you look at all the other Haslabs that they've done with all their other brands, the G.I. Joes, the Marvels, everything that they do with them, you know they can never do for retail. Maybe that Ghost Rider, and maybe that's why that one didn't do well, because that could have been a retail product, the Ghost Rider car, and that was the fans. You know, I think that us as fans, sometimes we're just happy to have product and we buy. What's up, Aaron, in the house? But look, the way I see it, it's it's something that timing would have been done better. And that's the way I would have done it. And a Primus, they could do one next year, but I think that the window that would have been more romantic, for lack of better words, would have been better there. Mr. Bumblebot, would you be disappointed if Ty was then a Titan Master? I have no opinions until I see what they do. You could tell me that Ty is an articulated figure. You could tell me Ty is a Micromaster repaint. You could tell me Ty is a Titan Master. I mean, they said it fits Titan Masters for both the bucket and the control module at the bottom of the ladder. We'll see. We will see. We will see. It really depends on how they decide. I'm not going to speculate too much and then be comfortable with what they do when in the end they don't do it. Could be Spy Changers, could be Ty, could be this. What it'll be, I don't know. Brainstorm 2002, Grandis would have been a better Haslab. Me personally, I would have loved it if it was Grandis. Oh god, you can't see him because of the box. I have Grandis back here. I love Grandis. I think Grandis is one of my favorite city formers. It's a sleeper character that a lot of people, like me and Derek Wyatt, were both big Grandis fans. We both like them because I love the working elevator, the city mode, just so cool. And yeah, I feel Grandis is perfect for Haslab because no one in retail would know what that is. But at the same time, if they would have said we need 10,000 for Grandis, I don't know if it would have done well unless the price was like right. If they did Grandis at like 150 or like 200, then you might as well just make it a Haslab. A retail item. And then you could do your Doug base, Dag base later, repaint. So I would have liked Grandis, but I've always said just because I like it doesn't mean it's a good idea. That's why I'm hesitant always on where you put a Grandis in the grand scheme of things. It is what it is, unfortunately. Okay, we'll take a moment on the super chats. Keep sending them in, but we'll just kind of handle everything. So again, that's more or less my take on it. We'll continue the discussion if people ask more questions and super chats about them, but we'll see what they do. We'll cover some sponsorship stuff. I got some cool stuff to talk about that we picked up this week. And and then we'll just chill with the rest of the super chats, shall we? And the first thing we're going to cover, again, we got to talk about Symbiote Studios. Again, if you watched the live stream with Haslab, we had the Catnip Bravo shirt that was featured on Evan. So you can pick up that Catnip Bravo shirt, or Catnip Convoy, as I like to call it, on symbiotestudios.com, exclusive to symbiotestudios.com. So if you like the live stream with Haslab, you could definitely pick up that shirt. And there it is there, along with all the others and the cool plushes that are out there. Check it out. We're going to be having some new announcements soon. Of course, this one, the pre-order will be going live very shortly for the Ultra Magnus 86 movie. Ultra Magnus with his grin. And of course, the Winter Wonder wardrobe kit is available right now. Winter's ending soon. It's getting warmer here, thank goodness. Once it's February, we could finally get to March and then spring break, and then we'll be good. And then Proto Man isn't freezing himself here in the TF room. But pick that up, get some upgrade kits for all your plushes too. And of course, all the others that are available. We will be having some brand new announcements in March. March will be the big dump of brand new characters that we will be announcing. So check that out on Symbiote Studios. Go check out symbiotestudios.com. Go pick up some plushes in the name of Transformers. Go get some good ones there. And of course, we got all the other Hasbro brands. Some stuff is on sale. Go get those Power Ranger pins. Those are on sale. The My Little Pony pins, I believe most of them are sold out. But there's a lot of great stuff. Go check it out, symbiotestudios.com. Get some Power Rangers. I think everything related to Tommy is sold out right now. But even get that Snake Eyes there. Good old Snake Eyes looks good too. Anyways, go check out Aaron Archer. The Archer. Aaron actually did a really good segment. If you want to hear his 2 cents about the Haslab item, it's under the live tab on Archer on Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Go check out that channel. Again, if you're here, man, if you're here, like subscribed and hanging out with me, go subscribe Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. You'll hear my voice there too, but you'll also get Aaron's 2 cents. So Ninjatron's going to snow again in April. Don't curse it. Don't curse it, Dylan. That's when we had the power failure last time. Was in April. We had an ice storm out of nowhere. Don't curse it, man. Please don't. Oh, that was not fun. Oh my goodness. Anyways, go check out Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. We talked about Tidal Wave recently. Aaron put out a recent segment on the live tab talking about the Haslab item. Go check that out. Good stuff. And if you want more Aaron Archer, go get archermonsters.com/shop. Go get his art book, Volume 2, The Art of Transforming Robots, Volume 2, Color Edition. Some good stuff there, too. Good stuff from Aaron. And, of course, most importantly, the beautiful art. He put up a new one recently. He did a Dark of the Moon, one of my favorite movie Megatron designs, the Dark of the Moon one with the cloak and everything. I love that design. He put an instruction for that one for, I believe, $75. So go check that out. All his instructions, bunch of brand new ones there. archermonster.com/shop. Check it out, yo. And thank you, everyone, for sponsoring this segment. Before we get into the stuff we got in the mail, we got some more super chats. We got Isaiah. How you doing, Isaiah? I hope we get RID 2001 Megatron, hopefully not Haslab. What do you think? I think that if it's a Haslab, someone needs to be fired if they do that. Because Haslabs don't have repaints. So you're telling me you're gonna do a Haslab, Gigatron, aka RID Megatron, and screw yourself out of the Galvatron repaint? Whoever it is, you're fired. You're fired. Go work at like Spin Master or something. We'll send you to Spin Master. Go work on some Bakugan or something, brother. Like, no, they have to make that a retail product. Look, we got Magmatron. Magmatron's our commander class. That's an obscure, product that actually has less to do with the Western market. Yeah, okay, he had that Beast Machines, release through Robots in Disguise and everything. Oh, let me pull that one up in the old book today. We pulled out the books. We gotta pull out the books. Oh my, where did they put Beast Machines in here? Oh, okay, here they are. Here's the Beast Machine stuff, and then you got all the Dinobots and everything. See, I hate it when I have to go through the books without you guys being able to see, because then we can't enjoy it together. But it's somewhere in here. Anyways, they didn't put him in here. Anyways, he's somewhere here. Great book, by the way, guys. If you ever get a chance, pick up this sucker. Fantastic book. A perfect sequel to the original Transformers Generation guidebook. Easily one of the best Transformer guidebooks of all time. And it's Japanese, but who cares? It's beautiful. But yeah, to me, it would be foolish of them to do that. If we could get Magmatron as our commander class in mainline Legacy, we could get Gigatron, aka Megatron. It's a no-brainer. Keep that trademark going, yo. Call it Gigatron. You don't even have to call it Megatron. Call it Gigatron. If you don't want to create brand confusion, but they can't use Devil Gigatron because you know how it is. But they can at least use Gigatron and then Super Gigatron or whatever. Burning Gigatron. It'll be cool. I dig it. It'll be cool. I think we had another super chat. One moment. I just want to make sure I don't miss any of the other super chats. Okay, good. Didn't miss any of those super chats. I don't want to miss those with you guys. So we also got some stuff we picked up today. Little things here and there. Check out the iChime. So we got some stuff in the mail. We got some stuff in the PO box, and then we picked up something today. So all of these are not TF related, but I'm pretty sure people will dig them. So first, we'll start with the PO box. Again, shout out to Massive Gains, one of my fans. Didn't expect this at all. He sent in the PO box a item that I was like, oh, that's cool. He gave a letter here too. Let me one moment. Ah. Hey, Proto Man, I know that you're not a big Lego fan, but I heard that your wife is really into Lego and she's been building a lot of really cool stuff on her social medias. I found this in Walmart, and the moment I saw it, I thought of you, and I thought that it would be a cool item that you could own and she could build. So enjoy this Transformers related Ninjago. It's actually very hot rod looking. Actually, if you look at this spoiler back here, if you flip them the other way, that looks like hot rod spoiler. So you got this Lego Ninjago flame spoiler. Look at this. It's hot rod the spoiler. Hot rod the Lego. So pretty cool. Thank you, Massive Gains, for that. Yeah, Sandy will enjoy building this. Um, so yeah, we'll take some photos. We'll send them to you, brother. But thank you for that. That's pretty cool, actually. I've said in the past, I'm not a big Lego guy. Growing up, like Lego was kind of like something like my friends would have, but I never was big into them. The only sets I ever really liked were Spyrius. Spyrius was kind of cool because it had robots and stuff in it. And then I was like really big into any of the Lego Technic stuff, and then going into Bionicle, which was initially a Technic item. So I'm more like into that kind of stuff, and model kits have always been more my thing. So if I want to build something, it's more of a model kit than Lego. But hey, man, thank you for that. Oh man, we got a whole bunch of super chats. We'll get to the super chats in a moment. It's going to show off the rest of the stuff. So something that I ordered in the mail, and it finally came from Japan. This is super obscure. This is an Ultraman SD multi-pack from, what year is this? This is really vintage. From 1994. The only reason why I bought this is because one of my favorite kaiju is Kirazi, or Shirazi as it was called in Japanese. And any merchandise of Shirazi I like to own. And then there's also Gudis. So anyone who remembers, there was an Ultraman series in America called Ultraman Towards the Future. And they made very few merchandise of these characters because it was an American-made series. Actually, it was technically Australian, but that's a whole other story. And I believe it was the first ever Filipino Ultraman main character. I think so, because I think it's Dorian. He has a very Filipino sounding last name. Who was Ultraman Great. So I just wanted this set just because that's from Ultraman Towards the Future. That's from Ultraman Towards the Future. That's the Yuma ship from Ultraman Towards the Future, and that's Ultraman Great. That's actually Ultraman Neos from another set. So I just bought this cool little vintage set and everything. So I figured some people would dig that because I love Ultraman. I love me some kaiju. Love me some kaiju. And then a nice. This was a very unexpected purchase. So I went to my local comic book store. I always pick up my books, and they had a whole bunch of brand new toys. The owner of the store apparently bought a whole bunch of the. I think this is Wave 4, the Super 7 Ultimate GI Joe Wave 4. He bought them at like insane clearance. And I can only imagine what he paid. So this is the Scarlet, $20 Canadian. So that's like almost $15 American. $15 for this thing. American, just to make it more simpler. $15, 20 Canadian. I don't even know what he paid. He probably paid like 10 or 5 a unit. And he had a whole bunch of them, but that wave had Doc, Storm Shadow, and a Cobra Trooper. And I was like, maybe the Storm Shadow. But I was like, you know what? I'll get the Scarlet. The Scarlet's really nice. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of not the retaliation, the classified series, but these ones are totally like the cartoon, and I really dig these. These look really nice. So Hey man, if I could get the same deal for the Baroness one, and if they ever do make a Dusty, I'm down. I don't mind paying that. So that was a nice score. When I saw that, I was like, $20. Thank you. What were those? Those are like $55 American, weren't they? Apparently they went on like crazy liquidation, and the comic store I go to, he buys like collections and closeouts all the time, and then he resells at his store. And if he's selling those at 20, and all of them were 20, like each one of them were $20 at his store. So if he's selling it at $20 Canadian, what did he pay for his units? He probably paid like nothing. Mark, tell me, what did you pay, man? Because that's insane. So hey, if they ever do a Dusty, make it happen. So I was very happy with that. I was very happy. Yeah, was really cool with that one. So we'll see, we'll see. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Super Seven's in a weird place with some of their releases. A lot of stuff gets clearanced like crazy. It was $55. Wow, what the hell? Jeez. Man, I don't know what's going on there. I hope they're okay at Super 7 because I really like what they do. I really love their stuff, but some of the stuff they do, it just ends up on crazy clearance. Crazy, crazy clearance. But that wave, he had that whole wave. It was Doc, the Cobra Trooper, and Storm Shadow with Scarlet. So, and then Michael Kusa, Super 7 is doing repaints of the latest Ultimates in Wave 6. So what, they're repainting Scarlet again? Or are they going to do her in because this is like toy accurate colors, the best way to put it. So I guess they'll do cartoon slash comic book colors, maybe. I guess that's what they're doing. They're doing that wave as repaints. I mean, I wouldn't mind the cartoon colored Scarlet at $20 Canadian, but we'll see. We will see. We will see what happens with that. So that's it, more or less. Thank you, Massive Gains, for the PO box item. Thank you, random guy in Japan who I bought I bought from eBay the Ultraman stuff, and thank you, Mark, from his lovely comic store. And what a great deal on that! I'm pretty sure he made plenty profit on it. I guarantee next time I go, I'm probably going to go in 2 weeks. I always go every 2 weeks to a store. Um, I guarantee when I go back there in 2 weeks, they're all going to be gone. I'm pretty sure people are buying them just to resell them. I mean, that's insane. That is absolutely insane how cheap
no
they are.
matter the cost.
But I don't really buy to resell much. Sarah with we got a gold super chat from Sarah. I guess that's 100 Mexican pesos. I don't know what that currency is, Sarah. You'd have to help me out with that. But we got a gold super chat. I recently spoke with a Walmart distributor person in Mexico. Oh, there you go. So it is Mexico. Because they are selling Voyagers for $10 in all stores. Interesting. He tells me that the only figure that they could sell at full price are Optimuses and Bumblebees. Interesting. So they buy product and then they modulate the price depending on character at Walmart in Mexico. Is that what you're trying to say? That's very interesting. Okay. That's very cool though. I mean, that would be great if you're a fan, because then you could just pick and choose. Oh, I like a really obscure character. I'm gonna save money on it. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you for the gold super chat, man. That's really interesting though. Huh. Not even Megatrons or like Soundwaves, just Optimus and Bumblebee? I guess because bad guy characters in some regions don't do well. John Mayer with the $5 super chat. Let me just hold on. Let me move everything here because I know we're missing everything. Missing all the questions. John Mayer with the $5 super chat. Thank you, John. Can't wait to know what the next Dinobot drop from Studio. My question is, what do you think will be once they end the Legacy Siege style of figures? Well, these seem like to go in trilogies. So after Legacy United is done, I think they're going to still keep trucking. I mean, the vibe that I get is it's very clear the television and movie-based products don't move as well as the products related to the past, right? So the Legacy United stuff, that sells very well. Most of the Rise of the Beast stuff, maybe it doesn't sell as well. The Earthspark stuff is really not moving at all. So I'm pretty sure they're classic business. What sells? Double down and focus more on that. What doesn't sell? Back it up, yo. So I think that once United is over, they're just going to continue doing whatever's next. It just kind of makes sense in a lot of ways. It's really the way to go. But yeah, you know, that's the way I see it. I don't really see them. I don't really see them stopping. There's too much meat on the bone. There's too much money to be made in a lot of ways. Mikey and Louie, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, Mikey and Louie. I'll try to read some of the YouTube member questions. If you missed any, just say them again. You could say them again. I'll read them. How about Ultraman Powered? That was an American made one too, which I believe it was a Chinese actor. No, it was a Japanese actor who played the main character, and his father was a really famous actor too. I forget his name, but it was a Japanese actor, and that was a Western series where the Ultraman was played by a Japanese actor who was American born, and his love interest was a blonde chick. It was very interesting, but very ugly Pigmon design in that one. I don't like the Pigmon design in Ultraman Powered. Link CW Tier 3 needs to be a tie figure. I mean, everyone thinks it should be Ai-chan. I think it should be too. I'd be down for that. I really do. I really do. Deke colors for here we go. JR Mina, is there a distribution difference on the Haslab and the previous 3 Haslabs? The reason I'm asking is that pre-orders from sellers here in the Philippines for Omega Prime are almost $410. Well, I mean, the problem is that the second you get outside of the American region, they have different ways of how they handle the Haslab item. I mean, when you think about it, look, it's $250 for Americans, and you get free shipping if you're a Hasbro Premium Plus member. If you're Canadian, woo, it's going to cost me easily, if I had to buy it, like $400 to $410 Canadian with exchange and the shipping and everything. I mean, it's absolutely nutty how much it's going to cost. So, yeah. Uh, it really has to do with region. Everyone's different. Japan has its own ups and downs. I think the UK, when you break it down, it's also like almost $400 for them. So certain places, it's pretty rough. Brainstorm 2002 with the $5 super chat recently got back into Lego because Lego is doing sets about Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, there is. There's quite a few of them I was seeing. The very first Sonic one, I believe, was from that Lego video game there, Lego Dimension. I think that was the first Sonic one they did. The Sonic. Abraham says Kane Kasugi. I think that was his name. Yeah, from Ultraman Powered. I have a vague memory of that. I remember that he was the first ever Japanese American Ultraman main character, and his father is a very famous actor also, who like he did a whole bunch of movies. Because I remember there was some kind of lineage with that. Because at that time, when Ultraman Towards the Future, and then of course Ultraman, I think it was called Ultraman Greatest Hero in the Universe or something, when those 2 shows were on TV, I used to The Ultimate Hero. Thank you, The Ultimate Hero. When those were on TV, I used to watch those all the time. Love them, love them, love them. And of course, the video game for Super Nintendo, Ultraman Towards the Future. Great music. That was done by Bandai, their in-house video game studio. Clark Clint, Proto, what do you think the next Transformers series needs to do to captivate older fans and create new fans? I always feel, number one, keep it easy, take it easy on the humans. I mean, let's be real. I know that there's like, well, we want to have the connections with humans and da da da. You know what? You want to tell your human connection story. That's what those movies are for. The movies are going to do the human connection stuff. We're already losing audiences through streaming services and television and stuff. If you want to keep them, you gotta make it about the robots. I mean, no offense to Earthspark, but I think it's way too much about the human dynamic, and we're missing the point. And when you have 21 minutes to tell a story, and 14 of those 21 minutes are about characters that aren't going to move product. Like, how many people are looking at the human characters and going, I want to buy that? And it's not really the case. Not really the case at all. So I really think that like Cyberverse had the right idea, and that's why Cyberverse ran for 3 seasons and did very well, despite the fact that the toys were they were kind of little gimmicky, and they didn't do a lot of toys that were good for certain characters. But it ran for like 3 years, so clearly Cyberverse had an audience. No humans, no human characters, and it had an audience, and the toy line flourished. Earthspark's on its way out. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is done. It is done like an overcooked steak. So It is done. And no one wants an overcooked steak. It is rubber. But yeah, it is what it is. Uh, where are we at here? I don't want to miss any questions, but everything's flying by. Easy way to keep including humans in future series and movies. Do target masters, headmasters. Yeah, you could. That's the way to do it. Headmasters, target masters, pretenders. But unfortunately, like Noah's story of being an anything, and in this case, we'll call it a pretender shell, came way too late in the movie. If you make it the focal element and as a selling point, and you build it throughout the movie, then that's fine. But if you make it a thing that shows up at the end, and because it shows up at the end, it's something you don't really want to advertise, even though it was shown in trailers, which I think was stupid. If it's going to be something, oh, Rodimus Power, you had a question. One moment, man. Oh, there we go. Sorry. That's what I'm saying. Like everything's flying by. Um, just everything's flying by. I'm sorry that I missed this stuff. Is by law or is it in house to not reuse pulse items? So the belief is that when we got Unicron, there was a lot of people that were asking Hasbro marketing, "Hey, can't you re-release Unicron? Can't you re-release Unicron?" You know, and they said that in order to keep HasLab items special and premium, they cannot repaint or re-release HasLab items. So unfortunately, that's why I remember when there was that huge HasLab drop where like they dropped all those like leftover stock items from their not their Rhode Island, their Cincinnati location. Um, it was kind of that. It was just like, people were going, wait, you guys said you would never reissue or re-release items. Then what was that? And it was just dead stock that they had for like, when they had a lot, when someone like got a Unicron, it was missing a wing or something. They had pieces and parts. So I mean, it sounds like if they stay true to that, but I mean, Evan was the one that was like, "Hey, we'll never do a Prime as a HasLab item." Look where we are here today. So I guess rules are meant to be broken, or there is no rules to begin with. I don't know. Unfortunately, I do not know. I do not know. We do have. Let me just because I have a question too. So we have a question here also. Time are we right now? We have about 40 minutes left. I got a question from a fan. He wanted me to be anonymous with his question, but it was something that he asked me it, and then I asked him like, hey, you know what? This is like a question that I kind of maybe would like to answer on the live stream because then it's something that maybe other people could take away from it. It's not a Transformer related question. It's actually just a question related to life. And sometimes we like to answer these questions on the live stream. So I'll answer this question. You guys could bring up more super chats while we do that. But we had a question from an anonymous fan. And he wrote here, hi, Proto. Sorry, I know you're busy today, but I just wanted to ask your advice. How do you get over friends leaving you? It's nothing bad, but just I had some friends leave our church to another, but they hang out with other friends instead of me. I get easily attached to people, so it's not easy for me to let go of them. Sorry to bother for the question. Please do not respond right away. I know you're busy with the live stream. Thanks again, man. That's kind of what keeps me going through right now. An anonymous fan, and I just put that cool Springer there because it's cool. So the question essentially is, like how do when you lose a friend and stuff like that. I've explained this. I think I explained this to like my significant other and everything and a lot like that is you have two kinds of friends when you become an adult, and when you're a kid, you have what are called forced situational friendships, which is all the friends you make as a kid are friends that because you're forced into an environment. All the friends you made were in school because you were forced to be there. Where when summer vacation happened, how many of those friends that you saw every day at school did you see outside in summer vacation during that 2 month block? So, like me, my best friend growing up was my next door neighbor, Victor. Shout out to Victor. Love that guy. He was my best buddy growing up. He was the one I saw the 86 movie with, you know. So, all the friends that I had during school were one thing, but when it was the weekends or playing hockey or going to see movies or summer vacation, I was hanging out with my next door neighbor and Victor and me went to two different grade schools and we went to the same high school afterwards, but we went to two different grade schools. So, it's something where, you know, to me, when you have forced situational friendships, those aren't real friendships. And I'm not saying that they're negative friendships or anything, but they're friendships that really have an expiring date, because it's pretty much like, it's kind of like coworkers. You work in an environment and you work there for many years, and you have a coworker that you're friends with because you see each other every day. But when you stop working there, 9 times out of 10, you don't talk to that person anymore. You might be friends with them on Facebook and you throw them a birthday wish once in a while, but those are what are called forced situational friendships. And you said here these were people that went to your church. So they were someone that you saw consistently in a social environment many times. But what happens is sometimes you have people like that. And especially as adults, we're so busy with work, family, that we really have time to kind of squeeze in socializing and everything. And you got to kind of recognize the forced situational friends. Like when I take a step back and think about it, like it's like, me and Jaws D, we met in school, but we also were neighbors. We also lived like a block from each other. So that helped a lot. And that's why, despite the fact that I've known Jaws D since literally like grade school, you know, and then of course, even more so, we got even like, closer and hung out a lot more in high school. Like we had the bigger connection of proximity, because we weren't just forced to hang out with each other because we went to the same school and stuff. We lived near each other. And who knows, maybe if we didn't live near each other, it would have just been school and that was it. But because we lived near each other, we'd walk back from school together, and we'd hang out together, and we'd go to the same stores and hang out with the same people. Now that we live far apart from each other, he got his own house, he has his own girl, he has his own life, he has his own things. I have my own girl, I have my own life, I have my own things. We kind of do our own things. We're still best buddies. We still hang out. We still do stuff together for the podcast and everything. But we really only see each other maybe 2, 3 times a year now, where we used to see each other almost every other weekend. It's a reality of being an adult, unfortunately. It makes it more difficult. And as a result, it's nothing personal when other people hang out with other people. It's more a convenience on their behalf. Sometimes like those people live closer to them. Sometimes there's some of my best friends that I would literally label as best friends. I see them 2, 3 times a year. It's just how it is. We live in a different world today. It's a lot more difficult for that stuff, but we also have tools at our disposal. If those people were really good social friends that would reach out to you through social media, Facebook Messenger, Discord, whatever is your pick your flavor, Skype, if you still use that, um, they would reach out. They would reach out to you, you know. But it's nothing to take personal. It's just that sometimes you go into an environment, you guys are in the trenches together of that workplace or that school or that whatever, and then you exit those environments and you move on with your lives, and it's just kind of a reality in a lot of ways. And I've experienced that many times. I worked at Burger King, geez, 20 years ago. Shows how old I am. I worked at Burger King 28 years ago. Made friends at those when I was at that Burger King. I made friends with them. We went to go see movies. We used to go racing, and I'd take them to go-karting when I used to do my racing back in the day, because they couldn't do actual racing, so I'll take them go-karting. We would go go-karting. We'd go to see movies. We would recommend movies to each other. I had a buddy there who ended up becoming a mechanic. He became a mechanic because I became a mechanic. I don't want to say his name, but really cool dude. He would lend me movies. Oh, hey, this movie's really good. Check out this DVD. Like we built friendships. But when Burger King ended and I went on to become a mechanic and I retired from working at Burger King, and he went on to do his own thing and then he ends up working for the city now for the bus company, on diesel engines. We just kind of went our own ways. He got married, he has kids, he has a family. We all go our separate directions. And I think men, and I don't want to speak for women, but I think us men, the most important thing is to have one or two really close friends. Your wife should be your best friend, and your kids. And that's it. And then really focus on that. That's the more important thing. I think social media has tricked us into thinking if you have like 1,000 friends on Facebook, yeah, number one, nah, that's not a sign. You just need one or two really good people in your life that you could bounce stuff off of once in a while. And then, a wife and kids, and that's it. And that's the most important thing in a lot of ways. Um, and not to be too down on it. There's billions of people in this world. If there was a group of people that didn't click in the long run, you'll meet somebody else. Think about so many of us. We went to grade school. We had a clique of friends, and we went to high school. That clique of friends doesn't exist anymore. And then you hang out with a new group of people. And you go to college or university, and then you have a new group of people you hang out with. And then you go to your first job, and that was your new crew of people you hang out with. We're always growing and evolving and changing. We meet new people. So just kind of wanted to give that long, short answer. Maybe I lost some people here. Oh, he's talking about life. Who cares about life? But I figured, maybe some people would take something away from this too, because, people get lonely. I could understand it. I get it. You know, I totally do. And yeah, it is what it is. Hope it answers that question. I hope that helped you out, my friend. Let's go back to the super chats and everything now. If I didn't miss anything. Let's get back into it. Where are we at here? Sonic the Hedgehog one we did. I don't want to miss some YouTube member questions. We'll do some more YouTube member questions too. Prince and Phalanx 59 with the $2 super chat. Protoman, do 3 hours tonight. Oh, I can't do 3 hours tonight. You know what? I would love to, but it's just between tomorrow is a little a micro convention here in Montreal. If there's any Montreal listeners, um, tomorrow is a micro convention for trading cards. There's a trading card expo at the Ruby Foo Hotel. It's sports and non-sports. It's free to get in, so that's kind of why I'm going. I'm just going like, hey, maybe I'll find some cool stuff there that's not related to trading cards. Maybe there'll be some Magic the Gathering cards. Maybe there'll be some cool Marvel cards there. I don't know what I'm expecting. 40 tables, a whole bunch of people, free entry. So I'm going to wake up early and go check that out. Me and Pulse Dragon, who's a regular at TFCon, he's that big Asian dude that always hangs out with me. He's going to be there with me. So we're going to go check that out. So, but I got to wake up early. So like, I mean, if we go, I mean, right now for me, it's almost 9:30. If we go until like 11, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I still got to eat. I still got to shower. I'm gonna be going to bed at 1 a.m. in the morning. I want to get some Nintendo Switch it, before I crash for the night. Um, and then I got to wake up super early to get the early bird on a convention. I don't know. It's gonna be tight, my friend. So you know what? 3 hours is a lot to do. I used to do them in the past in the live streams, but it's tough to do. The most I could ever do is like two. I could do a 3 hour one if we do it maybe during the day or something, but it's crazy. 3 hours is a lot. I figure you guys would be bored of me after two, anyways. Um, Clark Clint says, make new friends, bro. I know how it feels, but I've learned over time that if your friends are ditching you to hang out with other people, they're not really your friends. Totally true. The black and white truth of action speaks louder than words. People who are really, really your friends will reach out to you. They'll reach out to you. If they're not, they were like they said, if they not, they were for situational friendships, which meaning it was just the environment that brought you together. You know, it happens all the time. Happens all the time. You're gonna make new friends going through life. That's totally the truth. All the time, new people you're gonna be meeting every single day. Michael Koo with the $5 super chat. Is Transformer Classic Heroes line dead on arrival? The Rescue Bots related one, I think they're still putting out stuff. Didn't they announce some new reissues that were on Amazon recently? I could be wrong, Michael, but I think I saw something. I mean, that line still seems to. You want to know what's dead on arrival? There was those Ollie's things. Where was? Hold on, I think I have photos of that on my phone. One second. One second. Yeah, those Ollie's ones there. Here we go. So Ollie's apparently, see this is today. Look at those. Those are all these are terrible photos, Proto. There we go. $11. Oh, Ross, excuse me. I was saying Ollie's. Ross, $11 Canadian. So what is that American? Like $7 for robots into robot RED, robot enhanced to size, $7. The Optimus, the Megatron, and the Soundwave. What is that like? Again, $7, $8 American. Psh, crazy, crazy. Uh, Or David Cabal with the $2 super chat. Who do you ship Scarlet with, Duke or Snake Eyes? Depends on continuity. I find that cartoon Scarlet always had a thing for Duke. I missed you, Duke. Yep, by that much. When she almost hit him with the plane. I always felt Scarlet and Duke had a thing in the cartoon. In the comic book, it's clearly Snake Eyes. You can't even argue that one. 100%. So it depends on the continuity. And then when you're talking, what was it? Resolute. What was that made for DVD one that they did there? Scarlet was also kind of with Duke. She kind of was like, "I'm not leaving you to die." She had a thing for him. So depending on the continuity, that's what always kind of like greases the wheels for me because it's always different in each one. Hey, Proto, what's for dinner? I was waiting for that question. Thank you, Patrick Brown. So today we went shopping and we went to Costco because we had to pick up some chicken breast and a lot of stuff and nuts and berries and everything because we always get like, really healthy breakfasts here in the house here. But we were like, you know what? We're going to get that Costco pizza. So we took a photo. That's actually me sitting on the other side. This is my wife's photo. So I got a hot dog. You could see the whatever you call it there, the foil paper that they use that they wrap the hot dogs. We got a lemonade in there, and I got myself a plain pizza and a hot dog, and I destroyed that. And my wife got the pepperoni one. The pepperoni one is the oiliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. A Costco pepperoni pizza is super oily. But you know what? They're not terrible. Everything here you're looking for, if you imagine there was a hot dog there too. I destroyed the hot dog in 5 seconds. Everything there cost us like $5 American, which is like, it was like $7.30 Canadian. It was so cheap. So you can't argue with that. All of that. Costco pizza. It's not the best pizza, but it's good pizza. Even pizza, when it's not that great, is still pretty good. So I had that for dinner tonight, though. I'm going to be having chicken breast with broccoli and rice. Have that all ready to go. Already have the broccoli ready to go. The chicken breast is cooking right now. I do it at a slow cook, so by the time we're done the live stream, I could have it fresh. So chicken breast, broccoli with some pepper on it, and some grape juice on the side with some rice. Very good. That's what I'm having tonight. It's another reason why I can't go 3 hours because I got to eat. I get hungry. I'm a hungry man. Where are we at? Where are we at? Mikey and Louie, what are friends? Is that what we call our toys? Well, again, Mikey and Louie. Mikey, Louie, who's your best friend? Each other. You know, you're married, you have each other. You're married, you have each other, you have your dog, you have your toys. That's all you need. You have a few close friends that you have in real life, and that's all you need in life. You keep it simple. You don't let it weigh you down too much. And I always say, if you're married to someone who's not your best friend, you made a mistake. That's all. I don't want to throw shade, but I always feel if you're going to marry someone, marry your best friend because that's the person that you're going to be annoying and keeping you laughing and happy for the rest of your life. So it better be your best friend. You don't just marry someone who's hot and then you don't have anything in common and you live in two separate worlds. Me and Sandy, we collect toys together. We watch anime together. We watch TV shows together. We play video games together. You got to have a best friend, you know? You got to have that. Now, granted, she's into Lego. I'm not big into Lego, but, we're both toy collectors. So you have that synergy there. When I go and I spend crazy money on a robot that turns into a thingamajiggy, she doesn't question it because then she turns around and buys a Sesame Street Lego playset for like $100, whatever it was that we paid for it in the secondary market. But Collector Prime, good statement on friends, holds true after me for 40 years. Yeah, that's the reality, man. That's the reality. That's the reality of it. It's as you get old, and it's an adult thing because when we're kids, we're in school and we're forced to be in school. When we're in our single digits, we're in grade school and we're forced to be in grade school, and that's where we make our friends. Hey, you like Nintendo? I like Nintendo. What's your favorite Pokemon? If for kids that were born in the 90s, 2000s. And then when you're in high school, it's the same thing. It's if you're on the same sports teams or in the same clubs or in the same groups, or it's just someone that happens to sit next to you. One of my best friends in grade school It was just so happens it was because we were sat in alphabetical order. My last name starts with A, his last name started with B. And we sat next to each other. Oh, you like wrestling? I like wrestling. And this is when Bret Hart was chasing Yokozuna for the championship. Again, this is how old I am, WrestleMania 10, you know? And it just so happens we just sat next to each other. We both liked wrestling, became one of my best buddies. But then, of course, he moved to Toronto. And again, you're no longer in that situation where you're forced to be together. You're separated. Yeah, we throw birthday wishes once in a while and everything over Facebook, and like we'll send a message once in a while to each other. Like we still have that connection, but it's not the same. When you become an adult, it's a different animal, unfortunately. It really is. It's a lot more difficult. Got a lot of super chats coming. Got to tackle those. We'll go get our super chats. So thank you for your patience, everybody. Clark Clint Gaming with the $10 gold super chat. Thank you, man. All right, Proto. Top 5 characters you think should be a Haslab Go. Prime. Well, okay. Business. Let's do business answers, and then Proto Man's dream answers. Primus. This is the business end. Primus, a Unicron that's smaller and more affordable to go with that. We'll make a Titan scale Primus, and then we'll do a Unicron that's more affordable. Still too big for retail, but not $600 big. So we'll do a Unicron. That's another business answer. What will be another good business answer? Another good business. Some GoBot stuff. Do a weird GoBot homage like multi-pack that could somehow skirt away from trademarks and licenses and everything. That would be a cool business answer because at least you could do that and it would target a very specific audience that might not make sense for retail. I can't really come out with 2 other business answers right now. I'd have to really think about it. But when you're talking dream stuff, anything from Master Force, give me again, like give me Grandis from Battle Stars. Give me Road King from Victory. Do a Road King combiner, which is the Brain Masters. Lio Kaiser would be cool. But then again, Lio Kaiser could be a reality in retail. But like Road King would be cool. Nice big chunky vehicles that are like Voyager scale to make a big combiner team. MPG maybe. Will be another cool one. Road King. You know, I got my Nitro Convoy override. Now give me Road King from Master Force. You know, maybe do a 3-pack. Do like multi crazy 3-packs or something. I don't know. You don't always have to do big characters. Do stuff that's too big and crazy for retail, but you can pull it off. I mean, I'm not saying like, you know, do like Botanica with Transmutate, like do like the lost heroes of Cybertron, you know, the lost females. Botanica, you know, lost ladies, we'll call it. Lost ladies 3-pack. Botanica, Headmasters RC, done proper, and Transmutate, all done proper. Like really good figures. 3-pack. $100. Put all the budget into them. Make it crazy. There you go. There's a few ideas. It's not really a top 5, but it's a few good ideas, I'd like to believe. So we'll go with that, Clark Kent. Yeah. Michael Koo makes me miss Costco pizza. They did a combo? They didn't have a combo. I only could buy a slice. We're tempted. One day we're going to buy the whole pie. Nothing greasier than Kmart food court food. Little Caesars. Little Caesars is not that greasy. Little Caesars is not too bad. I always feel that the oiliest pizza I've ever had were always from like mom and pop places. There's this place in Montreal called Pinelli's that my mom loves that we used to always get. And me and my dad hated it because it was so oily that like you would hold the slice and just all the toppings would just fall right off because it was so oily. It would eat through the box. Where like, you know, I like Little Caesars, a good kosher slice of pizza. Kosher pizza is really good if you get it plain. I find that if you get kosher with other toppings, it's not that great, but a plain kosher pizza is good. You know, a good dirty slice anywhere, as we use the term in Montreal. You go to a dirty little corner, dirty slice pizza, you're always good. Guillaume Mania, yes, if I bought a full Costco pizza, you'd have to let the rest of it become better. Well, Guillaume, one day I'll get it. You're a lucky man, Proto. I don't know why I'm a lucky man. Luck has nothing to do with it, my friends. We are all in charge of our own destiny. If you have a crappy job, quit the job, find a better job. You know, you quiet quit that one while you look for the next one. You don't quit it and then you're in if you have a crappy situation in a relationship, quit that relationship, find someone that's better for you. If you're surrounded by a bunch of people that don't feel like your friends, they don't need to be your friends. Find something else. We're all in charge of our own destiny. A lot of people might look and go like, "Oh, look at all these toys. He's so lucky. Oh, look at all this stuff I bought over a span of 30 years and saving money, not going out and spending money on it's so easy to go out and spend tons of money on food and go see movies in theaters and stuff. But my logic was if I went to see a movie and if I went to go out with friends and go out to eat and then go see a movie that probably would have been $40 and then I couldn't have bought Nemesis Prime Black Big Convoy over there, Bloody Tusks. I would have never been able to buy him, you know? And that movie, probably would have regretted seeing it. That food would have been in the toilet after a couple hours, but he's with me forever and ever. And that might be a cringy answer, but you know, I had the right friends around me for what my hobbies were and my interests. And we liked playing sports on Saturdays, which don't cost us money. And we liked going to toy conventions and playing Magic the Gathering and playing video games, keeping life cheap while saving money. And I mean, I don't want to go deep into finances and money. I'm really good with that, but that's something that I learned throughout the years. Mark Morales with the gold super chat for $10. I think Omega Prime is kind of a milestone since it features the first anime Optimus that was brought to the Western market, if that makes sense. Maybe one day we'll get our Primus. First anime Optimus in theory, but see, it's chicken before the egg, would have been Super Ginrai. But again, it's like, did Power Master Prime come first or not? I mean, it's just because Car Robots came out as an anime first, and then the toys came out as an anime first in that region, and then all of that was imported afterwards. So I guess it is a milestone in that sense. But at the same time, I mean, if you want to get into semantics, Hasbro Toy Shop back in 1997, 1998 gave you an opportunity to pick up Shadow Panther and Lio Convoy from Beast Wars 2nd from Hasbro Toy Shop. And that was an anime exclusive Japanese import character. So, and considering that had to be bought through Hasbro Toy Shop and this has to be bought through Haslab, you know? So, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I think we get into semantics and we have to dig up stuff. But we will get Primus one day. I think Hasbro, not Haslab, Hasbro has to do one at some point. When do we get to meet her on the live stream? You know what, guys? You know what's hilarious? I did a live stream. I did a live stream a while back, and she was actually standing off camera. I don't remember which one it was. You'll have to go back. But if you actually look, guys, let me show you something. So if you stand off camera, you could actually see the reflection here. Over here, you see the reflection there. So she was standing off camera and you couldn't see her. See right now you don't see me, but I'm here. So she was standing off camera and you could see her in plain sight in the reflection. I forget which one it was, and I told her that, and she was like, "Oh no!" If you come to TFCon, she's sometimes there. As she comes to the shows and stuff. She's a very pretty lady. She's a very awesome person. Very cool. Derek Wyatt liked her a lot. Wyatt really liked her. She thought she was funny. Remember when Derek met her? He's like, "I like her." It's funny because that was the California raisin story. So my wife, because she was raised French. So if you're in Montreal, you guys are gonna like this story. If you're someone from the 80s or 90s, you'll appreciate this story. So if you're raised French in Montreal, you kind of have two very different childhoods. So if you're raised Anglophone, English in Montreal, you grow up with English cartoons, Transformers, He-Man, G.I. Joe, the gamut, right? If you're raised French in Montreal in the 80s and 90s, you watched anime because anime was on French television. So Saint Seiya, Mystery of Gold, a lot of robots like Goldorak, which is UFO Grandizer, uh, just all they had a whole bunch of Captain Harlock, my youth in Arcadia, all of that stuff was on the French TV. So they had very different childhoods growing up. So what's funny is when we talk about stuff from our childhood, so she discovered not too long ago, she discovered California raisins, right? She didn't even know this was a thing. Didn't even know. And she became obsessed with California raisins because she's like, what are these? These are so cute. And then imagine the whole history of California raisins and the movies and the music. And when we take trips to Toronto, which are like a 5-hour drive for us sometimes, we listen to the California Raisin soundtrack. Heard it through the grapevine, and it's so hilarious to see a francophone discovering anglophone culture that existed. The only thing that she had that the French, they also had Gem and the Holograms. They had it in French, so she grew up with Gem. And Shira apparently was also in French on her side. But Transformers, Pokemon, none of that stuff was really on that side for them. So it's always funny that story. But, you know, I'm lucky. You'll get to see her one day. If you come to cons, if you come to local cons here, she's always with me. She always comes with me for all the toy hunting. Um, I mean, otherwise you could just be one of those weirdos that go on Facebook and you'll find her Facebook. That's what usually a lot of people do. They always go on Facebook. Proto, your girlfriend's hot. I saw her on Facebook. It's like, okay, there, buddy. But yeah, that's usually the best way. Um, she's upstairs. She's enjoying. She watches her Korean dramas usually when we do the live streams, and then we eat together afterwards. John Mayer with the $5 super chat. Do you have any Holy Grail pieces you have yet to obtain, Transformers or otherwise? Holy Grails to obtain non-Transformers, yes. A lot of comic book stuff that I'd like to own that I don't own because they're very expensive. Um, there's one or two items specifically that one day I will own, but it kills me because like as time progresses, these comics become more and more expensive and it becomes out of my price range. But I do have a few holy grails with comics. In terms of Transformers, not much. I'll be honest with you. I mean, for the longest time, certain holy grails were stuff like owning the original Star Saber, or even like owning Hot Rod, like the original Hot Rod toy. This is a reissue, obviously, but I got those. To me, the only things that are like holy grails right now is, like I said, it's those comics. I don't want to say what they are because I'm still trying to get them, and I don't need to screw up the market to say like, oh, that's what Proto Man wants. I'm gonna go get it. So I always try to keep my mouth shut on stuff like that. Aside from that, not much. Not much. I'm very lucky in life. Like, when there's cool items, I mean, when people say like, "Oh, this is a holy grail," and it's like a new toy. It's like, no, it isn't. It's just something that you want right now. There isn't much. Every like Mega Man toy I've ever wanted, I more or less got. Every wrestling toy I've ever wanted, or any, this that I picked up today. It's not a holy grail, but I'm happy to finally get another Killazy figure and a Gudis figure. There's not many Gudis figures, you know. Uh, but yeah, like literally like the only thing that's like a holy grail right now is there's like two comics that I'd love to own that are just so priced out right now. But I'd love to own them because they're important comics. Like and some past holy grails. Like I have a few other comics that I wanted to own. I managed to get them at a good price, but they weren't as in demand books. But they're characters that I really enjoy, and I wanted to own their first appearances. But that's really about it. Not Transformers, not much. I mean, I don't want to brag, but I got everything. You know what I mean? I mean, here's every G1 toy. Here's every 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, and then G2, Machine Wars, Beast Wars, Beast Wars Second, Beast Wars Neo, Car Robots, Robots in Disguise. I mean, and then we go to this wall, Armada, alternators, Energon, Universe 2.0. Ugh, I'm screwing up the camera doing this. I apologize. Cybertron, Robot Masters, and Beast Wars 10th anniversary, Titaniums, and animated complete set. I can't move the camera anymore down because then I'm going to really screw up everything. But then you got Transformers Prime, and then Power Core Combiners, And then the other wall, I'm going to screw up the camera completely here. The other wall, which you guys never get to see, which is movie and everything. Like it's, and this is why I don't mess with the camera because now I just screwed up everything. But no holy grails for Transformers. Non-Transformer toys, this and that, but I managed to get most of them. Most of them I got. I think, you know what I'd like to rebuy in perfect condition? As a kid, I owned the original Knight Rider, Michael Knight. I believe it was Ertl that made it. The original Michael Knight Knight Rider vehicle with Michael Knight figure. I'd like to buy a, because I destroyed my original one as a kid. I'd like to get a brand new minty one, but that's not really a holy grail. It'd just be something I'd kind of like to pick up. But again, it's only a few comics, really. Thank you for the question. It's a loaded one in a lot of ways. What is next? Some Kiat with the $5 super chat. Hey, Proto, Peter, Cullen, Frank Welker are both hanging out in Orlando for MegaCon this weekend. You are missing out, my friend. I met both of them many times. Peter, I met, geez, I want to say I met Peter like 4 or 5 times because Peter was quite a regular at the early BotCons where they didn't charge for autographs and Peter wasn't a movie star yet. He was just the voice of Eeyore and Optimus Prime, and would once in a while get a gig for a trailer voiceover. In another time, in another place, in a world ID4 starring Will Smith. You know, like he would be that guy. So like he wasn't like in demand, and he would be at a BotCon, and no joke, like you'd see Peter Cullen, and maybe I won't say he would smoke, and he doesn't want people to know that. But I mean, everyone who'd been to those early concerts, you'd see him smoking outside, and you'd be able to talk with him and hang out. And I got to see him at multiple BotCon 2011, BotCon 2000, I think it was 12 or 13. You know, like see him again and again. Then the TF cons, TFCon 2011, 2013, TFCon 2006. Like you see him so many times. Frank, I've seen twice. He came to TFCon. He was a really sweet dude. He was really funny. Um, I remember because I took a photo with him, and at the time, I had a pink cell phone case because I had a pink cell phone case because it had Bret Hart's logo on it, but the logo had worn out. So when they took the photo, I remember Frank was like, "You have a pink cell phone?" And we took multiple photos. And what's cool about those photos is you have him. It's like it's in slow mo. Like each photo, it's like screenshots. It's like you have a pink cell phone, you know. It's like, so he's a funny dude too, really nice. Um, Voice actor holy grails. All I'm missing right now is like dead guys, pretty much. I'd like to own a Chris Latta autograph. Don't have Starscream. I have a few dead guys. I have Robert Stack, who passed away many years ago. The voice of Cup, who passed away many years ago. I have everybody, every guy who's ever been Hot Rod. I have all their voice, including Judd Nelson. I got to meet Judd Nelson. Got all their autographs. So, but MegaCon in Orlando, what is that? Is that just like a huge anime con, or is it just like a kind of like a Comic Con kind of thing? I love conventions. I love conventions. I'm a huge convention guy. I love going to cons. I love hanging out at cons. Um, that's why I love it when I go to a con and I have a table. I love that because then you could find me, like where you could find me. I'm in one place and I could put all my stuff back there. I don't have to just go back to my room. So I love conventions. That's why whenever I get invited to one as a guest, I'm always happy to be there. You don't need to pay me an appearance fee. I will just come. Sarah is because they make Liquidation after Xmas and still have 4 Ironhide Studio Series. Oh, okay, so they're having a conversation there. I apologize. Didn't mean to get into the convo. What time are we? Oh my God, we have 3 minutes left. We have 3 minutes left and we have other questions. Michael Koo. Could the Transformers fandom survive if Transformers are released as frequently as McFarlane DC multi-universe? Transformer fandom will always survive. The one thing that's great about Transformers is even during times before the internet, when Transformers were at their weakest, like 1988, the real debut of Ninja Turtles, meaning like mainstream debut, not the comics, not the cartoon and toy line debuting in 87. 1988, Ninja Turtles takes over the world up until 1990-91, where they just own the world. Transformers had toy lines. 87, 88 is Headmasters, Pretender Shells, Micromasters. when Ninja Turtles was owning the world, Transformers was still there. They were still doing comics. There still was media in a sense, especially in Japan. So it never really died. Then when you go to like the popular Power Ranger era, 1991, 92, 93, going into like X-Men and the Marvel cartoons from Fox back in the day and Batman the Animated Series, there was no eyeballs on Transformers then. There was a G2 cartoon that no one cared about and a toy line that no one cared about, but it existed and it still survived. And there was comic books by Marvel. So Hasbro will never let it die, ever. They there will always be, even if Hasbro tomorrow stops making Transformer toy product, some other company will take the license and us as fans will just buy their products. It'll be Hasbro not doing Transformer toys anymore, and we'll be buying our transforming products from the licensed out Spin Master, McFarlane Toys, Super 7, whoever it is. Someone else will be doing something, and there'll still be comic books, and there'll still be a cartoon, and there'll probably be a movie every so often. It's too powerful a brand for it to go away. Way too powerful. In the same way Ninja Turtles never really went away, in the same way that Pokemon has been going strong since its debut and never really went away. In the same way that Digimon, even though it went up and then down, and then there's like made for TV movies and there's still Japanese stuff, there'll always be something. And because Transformers is a brand that also is available on two sides of the globe, if there's nothing going on here, you know Japan's going to do something. They'll do an anime exclusive series made for their market, or they'll still be masterpieces. It will never die ever. And that's the one good thing is it's a brand that us as fans, we could always be together because it'll never go away. It'll have its ups and downs, but it'll never stop. In the same way that if you were a kid who loved Transformers in 1988 and all your friends, you would go to school and all your friends, hey, did you get your, oh, let me just grab them. It's like, did you get your latest Slash figure from the stores? God, this one's really dusty. It's on top of my computer. But like they could have been buying all the brand new Ninja Turtle toys, and then you'd be like, "Oh, I got my Pretender shells, or I got my Micro Masters, or I got my Target Masters," you know, or my Mega Pretenders or Ultra Pretenders, or look at my Power Master Optimus Prime. Isn't he cool? 1988, you know. So you still could have been that kid when everyone was on the Ninja Turtle hype, and then when kids were playing with Micro Machines, or they were playing with like later Ninja Turtle toys, or they were buying early Batman toys from Batman 1989, the first Batman Michael Keaton movie. And then you were buying Micromasters and Micromaster play sets. And you were like, I love my Transformers. And then when Power Rangers was popular and they were buying the Megazord and the flip head Power Ranger toys and Titanus and Dragonzord, you could have been buying G2 stuff. You were buying your G2 Optimus Prime trailer and you were buying, the colored Dinobots or Orange Devastator. You were always able to still engage with Transformers, even though when there was something else that clearly was the big thing in the world. It'll never die. The fandom will always survive. And the beautiful thing is you can look up online during the early days of the internet, 1994, 95, right in the heart of the end of G2, before Beast Wars, there was fans posting, talking about the comic books. This is the early internet, and it's still there. Google Groups archived all of this. You could find the early online posts talking about the beginning of the Transformer fandom for online. And that was during the dead days. So imagine that. Imagine that. And the last thing we're going to answer today, because we're over the 2-hour mark, but the last thing we're going to answer today is Spuck Convoy with his $2 question of where is Legacy Jetfire? It's too soon. I assume you're saying the Armada one. We'll get one, but it's too soon. There's too much stuff to do right now. There's too many things to make right now. I always say it's all about the slots. Like you could only do 4 deluxes a wave. You could only do 2 Voyagers a wave. You could only do two leaders a wave. You could only do 1 Titan class a line, you know? There's like each line, right? Assuming it has 4 waves, right? So so that's 16 deluxes. That's 8 Voyagers, 8 leaders, 1 commander, and 1 Titan per year. And you got to fill those slots. Where do you fit in a Jetfire when those slots are already filled up? You have to wait. So it's all about patience, my friend. Link CW, Ninja Turtles were cheap at Walmart prices at $3.85. Ninja Turtle toys back in the day, like when I was a kid in 87, 88, 89, were the go-to item for birthday presents because of how cheap they were. Transformer toys, on the other hand, were ridiculously expensive. Even 1985 Dinobots in Canada were $14.95 back then in 85. So they were expensive back then, they're expensive now. So you could only imagine. But yeah. So that's the last question today. I'm sorry if I missed any questions, my YouTube members. We'll get to them next time. Like we had a Haslab day. We knew this was going to happen. It was going to be crazy. But thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for the super chat questions. Thank you to Massive Gains for the PO box little gift. Didn't expect that. I went to the PO box and saw this, and the lovely lady was happy with that. So I'm telling you though, that's hot rod, man. You're totally right. Like if you flip that spoiler around, that's hot rod. So that's pretty cool. I'll take some photos. Maybe I'll post it on the Instagram too. But she's gonna build it. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you for a beautiful, again, live stream today. Once again, if you want to help support the podcast, we have the Patreon link down there in the description. You can come join the Patreon, help support the podcast, and keeps the lights on for the podcast and keeps it going. Again, if Patreon isn't your thing, there's also that join button from YouTube. It's the YouTube member. That's what our beautiful green names are there today, like JR Mina and Mikey and Louie and Michael Koo and Billy B and Ashnud and T-Formers 2002 and Link CW and anyone else that I'm missing, James Hoskin, everyone else with those beautiful names, all those people. Love you all. Thank you for all the love and support. And Patrick Brown. I don't want to miss any other names. As I see them popping up, I'll read them. But thank you for everything, guys. You guys are the best. I love it all when we do the live streams together. I hope you guys learned something. That's the most important thing. We get profound knowledge and everything. I'm a one-man band for the #1 Transformer podcast in the world, and I wouldn't have it any other way with you guys. Anyways, I'm out of here. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones and your family. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful world out there. And I'm going to go relax, eat, and enjoy everything because the night is not over and I still have a con tomorrow to go check out. Take care. I'm out of here. Love y'all.